Good morning. I'm Steve Jurens with your live Northeast Radio SD news for Monday, April 6th, 2026. Your news this hour is brought to you by Watertown Development Corporation. Find out more information online at wdcsd.com. The journey for 6-year-old Miriam Koska has been a whirlwind of joy and sobering setbacks. In February, Miriam underwent a critical surgery at Children's Minnesota, where surgeons successfully removed nearly 100% of the primary tumor on her adrenal gland. Just 11 days later, the family celebrated the birth of baby sister Ruthie on February 23rd. However, recent scans from March 20th provided bittersweet results. While Miriam Curie's score dropped from a 20 to a 9, she has been classified as a, quote, poor responder, quote, because her bone marrow disease levels remain above the threshold for a stem cell transplant. Consequently, her transplant is pushed to June as she enters an intensive phase of immunotherapy in the PICU to manage the associated pain. The community continues to rally behind the family following the successful Miriam's Party benefit in January. You can still help by donating via Lend a Hand Up or Venmo, attached to the article at northeastradiosd.com. If you've driven past the vacant lot on Watertown's east side, you've seen the sign for the future third fire station. However, City Manager Alan Stager warns that the project is about more than just bricks and mortar. Stager confirmed that formal building plans are currently on hold until the city can solve a major hurdle: personnel. To meet safety standards, the city must hire 9 additional full-time staff members to man the new facility. While one-time construction bill is manageable, the recurring annual costs for salaries and benefits represent a significant long-term budget commitment. Once staffing is secured, the city plans to rebalance existing crews between the downtown, airport, and new east side stations to reduce response times without losing expertise. The Watertown City Council meets tonight at 7 p.m. with a heavy focus on growth and infrastructure. At the top of the agenda is Resolution 26-11, proposing an affordable housing TIF for the Harmony Hill subdivision. Developer SCI Development aims to build 40 single-family homes priced around $300,000 to assist first-time home buyers. On the infrastructure front, the council will consider bids for the 14th Avenue Northeast Trail replacement and roadway overlays at Mount Hope Cemetery. Members will also vote on purchasing a new case front load at $269,000. Finally, the council will review a $24 million in budget carryovers for the wastewater treatment plant and other major projects such as the police Lenco Bearcat and the new street facility. The Watertown Arrows track and field teams put on a dominant show at the Ruth Marsky Invitational at Brookings. Facing a massive field of 29 teams, the Arrows secured 2 individual titles. Ellie Dingzer claimed the top spot in the pole vault, clearing a personal record of 11 feet 6 inches. On the track, Grace McElroy captured the 3,200-meter run with a commanding time of 11:42. For the boys, Mason Iverson reached a new personal best in the high jump, clearing 6 feet 4 inches to take 3rd place and the number 4 ranking in the state. Overall, the girls' team walked away with the 9 top 10 finishes, building major momentum as they transition into the outdoor season. The local math dynasty continues as Waverly South Shore takes home first place at this year's ECC math contest. This marks the school's 6th championship in the last 7 years. Despite the contest moving to a remote format due to snow, 5 Waverly students placed in the top 5 of their categories. Lucas Johnson led the charge with a first place finish in Algebra 1, while Penelope Paulo and Elizabeth Meyer both secured second place spots in their divisions. Instructor Rodney Paulo credited the win to the students' willingness to dedicate extra time to practicing challenging problems, saying these results definitely, quote, did not happen by chance. The Watertown Laker Foundation is on a mission to ensure every child can hit the ice regardless of their financial situation. Founding member Jack Rasmussen says the 501c3 helps families cover registration, travel, and equipment, even specialized gear like concussion helmets. The foundation also honors the legacy of Kay Sutton, the, quote, godmother of South Dakota girls' hockey, end quote. Through annual $1,000 scholarships for graduating seniors, with the new ice at Prairie Lakes Ice Arena, youth programs are, quote, bursting at the seams, end quote. But the sport remains accessible. New Wobblers can rent full gear for just $30. Their major fundraiser, the Laker Pour, is set for September 3rd at 2nd Street Station. Learn more at WatertownLakerFoundation.com. Responders were called to a home in Hayti early Friday morning after a large tree collapsed on a residence in the 500 block of Redbird Avenue. The Hamlin County Sheriff's Office and Hayti Fire arrived at 7:36 a.m. to find the tree had struck the house and a deck, bringing down a live electrical line. The line remained energized until power and crews arrived to shut it off. One individual was inside the home and the tree fell, but officials fortunately reported no injuries. Crews spent the morning securing the area and clearing the hazard. The Watertown Police Department has arrested a local 16-year-old in connection with a high-profile swatting incident at the high school last August. On August 22nd, 2025, a false report of a weapon triggered an immediate lockdown and a building-wide search. Following a months-long digital forensics investigation, the juvenile was taken into custody on April 1st. He faces charges of terroristic threat, false report, and disturbance of school. Police Captain Steve Rehorst reminds the public that these are not harmless pranks. In addition to criminal charges, the department is seeking restitution for the massive costs of the emergency response. Your news this hour was brought to you by the Watertown Development Corporation. Find out more information online at WDCSD.com. Read more full in-depth stories online at northeastradiosd.com. Check out the daily news recap podcast and live interview uploads. And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter delivered straight to your inbox every morning at 6 a.m. With today's local and state news from Northeast Radio SD Studios in Watertown, South Dakota, I'm Steve Jurens.